What do you like better, snatch or clean and jerk?
I like the clean better than anything. Going overhead, I'm poor at just because I don't like dropping below weight. So, but I'm way more comfortable with the snatch and clean and jerk than I have been ever today.
What did you do last night in preparation for today?
Oh, it's a barbecue fest and didn't eat or drink anything.
Why don't more females Olympic lift? Not to say that they don't, but...
This is really intimidating. I don't think girls Olympic weightlift because they don't know it exists. Because they're afraid of weightlifting altogether.
That makes sense. So what about girl CrossFitters though?
Girl CrossFitters?
Like, what point did you go from CrossFitter to like, hey, I really want to get good at these lifts? Because I feel like people who aren't doing these lifts are like missing a really fun part of CrossFit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was a long transition for me. I went from CrossFit to the Open to regionals to squatting just about every single day over the summer, and I got bored and I was like, what am I going to do? Metcons again, because I love Metcons. And it was just a learning experience for me to understand like why I was doing what I did. And it wasn't until after this year's Open that I snatched or clean and jerked every single day, and I had a newfound appreciation for how much practice goes into it. So I think more CrossFitters don't do it because they don't realize that doing Metcons every day is not helping you improve. They think that that is what can help them. And that's what I thought. But the 30 minutes you do on like some sort of variation of a snatch in the regular CrossFit class won't help you learn the little bits of technique that you really need. And then in a CrossFit competition, you're doing high reps, low weight, and you don't really get the tactile feedback that you need for a heavy snatch where you actually have to drop below a bar to catch it properly. I mean, that's what I did. I mean, in the Open, I muscle snatched every single one of my weights. Every single one. Didn't even power snatch it. And so by the time I got to 100 pounds, I was spent because I just lifted weights up. Now I learn how to drop below the bar. It's not even like I know I'm supposed to drop below the bar, but I learned technically how to do it.
Is this going to be your first competition?
It is. Skydiving.
Do you think you're going to do more?
Yeah, for sure. I have to balance it out with the Open and regionals next year because my ultimate goal for the next year is to make the CrossFit team, the faction team.
Well, it seemed like the girls who were strong were the girls making a mark, so.
Yeah, so I'm just focusing on getting really strong.
Fast.
Fast on my lifts, and I'm also not afraid of being heavy. I think that was the biggest...
Going heavy or gaining size?
Gaining size. The scale is the girl's enemy, and I had to learn to not pay attention to it. Like when I weighed myself on Monday and I realized I was in a heavier kilo class, that's when I decided to lose the weight. But for months before, I knew how much I weighed, and I didn't care because I knew I was getting stronger and better at what I was doing.
Would you say you were fat or you were just heavy?
I wasn't fat at all. I think I look great.
Cool, good luck.
Thanks.
All right, guys, this is Barbell Shrug. I'm Mike Bledsoe here with Chris Moore,
Hello.
Doug Larson, and our guest, Shireen Myers. Soon to be Shireen Benz.
Yeah, pretty excited about that.
Jones right there. Mr.
So-
Myers is in attendance.
John Myers. In attendance.
It's gonna be Shireen Benz Myers.
Ah.
Right?
It's off. So, Shireen, you took a spill today.
It was pretty epic.
Let's start with the news of the day. Pulled hammy. Well,
40-yard
spastic,
sprint.
something, a flat tire, gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I've never done like 40-meter sprints before. Like I was a distance runner and whatnot, so sprinting anything shorter than 400 meters just never occurred to me. And so this was scheduled, 8 by 40, or 8 sets of 40.
You're a good
on
soldier.
that seventh one, I was like, man, my hamstring feels a little tight right now. And I was like, I'm going really fast. I just want to finish it.
She was killing it, actually.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to try and beat this last time that I got. And I got 20 meters in, and it just went locked up, and I freaking rolled. Just shoulder to the ground, all up my right side. It was my left hamstring that.
And this is on concrete, not a track.
Yeah, this was
Not the highest quality pavement either.
no, like on a slope.
You laid your body down like a motorcycle crash.
Yeah.
You get some pretty good road rash out of it too.
Yeah,
It
it's-
actually looks a lot better now. It's cleaned up. Got a little shower in you.
It was very cute.
No, there was none of that.
No,
John-
you didn't venture the shower yet.
No.
Sponge
That's
bath?
gonna be nasty once
Nice
you do
salve, aloe vera salve or anything.
John's going to give her a sponge bath later, huh?
That's a nightly thing.
Yeah, right. Did you feel anything like in your mind? What were you thinking as you got through like third, fourth, fifth sprint? Were you manipulating your technique or anything to try to squeeze some more speed out or maintain your speed? Were you trying things to? Do you find yourself stretching your gait out a little bit too much, maybe, and reaching for a longer stride?
Well, being a distance runner, I think I take like pretty short, choppy steps. And so I was really trying to lengthen my stride because I'm not used to doing that. And I was getting some tips, like pick your knees up, drive forward, lean forward, that kind of thing. So I was like trying to incorporate each tip in the next sprint. Remember to breathe and just stuff like that. And I was getting better. I was getting faster each one. Like I started out at 5.8, I think, and ended up at 5.6. So it just got faster and faster. I was like, all right, I'm starting to get a hang of this. But I think from the 50 back squats that were programmed on Saturday, I was still feeling that. And I probably just should have stopped at 7 when I felt
See,
it.
I think the same. I was just telling the group, dear audience, to catch you up to speed, my story from my conditioning test in college football. You had to run 110-yard sprints, 16 of them with like a minute rest. And I think Lyman had to do it, I want to say like maybe 16 seconds, maybe 14. Basically, for a 285-pound, 18-year-old Chris Moore, this is everything I've got on the very first one to fucking make the time. So I'm gasping. I'm going, oh, shit, 15 more, what? Hell, kill me. And then, that, of course, that minute rest is the shortest thing you're ever going to experience in your life. And I remember about the 8th or 9th one, the sensation, like, I need to make my time or else they're just going to add more to this. So I started reaching and pawing and trying to pull my way up the field. And I had this big, it always feels like a popping rubber band, urgent rush of pain and oh shit feeling. And then I just hit the ground and rolled 20 yards, it seemed. And I said, from the video tower, the coaches just laughed. I said, oh, okay, the turf monster got another one. Mm-hmm. That's not very funny when you're laying on the ground grasping your calf. Yeah, so I think it sounds like that's what happens. When you start trying to stretch it out to keep your pace or get faster, that's when, if you don't pay attention to the mechanics as they break down, you are going to hurt yourself. It's almost certain.
Yeah, short sprints is one of those things you got to.
It's also one of those things, like, if you haven't
Self-regulate a
sprinted
bit.
in a while, like when you're a kid, of course, you just get up from your bed and fucking sprint 100 yards and you have no worries. But when you haven't done it in a while, you're a little bit removed from your sport, you go, I'm going to go out and run some sprints. I'm fit. I squat and do box jumps and all these things. Mm-hmm. I'll sprint. And you do that, and if you don't get hurt, you realize the next day or the day after, you have the most incredible, vicious soreness ever. Mm-hmm. Maybe even worse than doing the experience, the patient, or the pain you felt you do the 150 wall balls the 2 or 3 days after. You wake up, you can't walk. It's because those forces are so huge when you're sprinting. It's unlike anything else you're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe one of the dangerous things you can do.
I had no idea what was coming. I just had no clue.
Surprise!
But
Yeah,
you
it
forever
was.
grinded through it.
Yeah.
Literally.
I will say,
You grinded yourself through it.
I didn't cry. Yeah, I didn't cry. I'm pretty proud of that. I may have yelled an obscenity, and as I was rolling or on the process of laying on the ground, as Mike comes over to me, just like,
What
"Are you
would be your
okay?"
chosen cuss word in that situation?
It was definitely "oh fuck."
Okay.
When we were going through Africa, we were going through one very specific area where a lot of the adolescent males had just gone through the ceremony where they get circumcised. And they can be anywhere between like 8 and like 18. Mm-hmm. So you could be a full-grown male getting circumcised, no
That doesn't
anesthesia,
seem
with
optimal.
like a sharp rock basically. And After that happens, they kind of send them on their way to, go kind of like live in the wilderness and take care of themselves for a little while.
As
and
if the first part wasn't bad enough.
Right. They have to like prove themselves, and then eventually they come back and start a family and whatnot.
I would never go back to that tribe.
And
Go back into the wilderness with a bleeding penis.
Well, as soon as they say, okay, next year it's your turn, I'm like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Right. Well, what happens though is like they're as we're driving through, you can see all these guys kind of scattered throughout the land, and they all have the same outfit on. It's like all black, and then some of them have these big feathers off their head, and some don't. And what happens is if they cry, they don't get the feathers. Then if they don't cry throughout the whole circumcision, then they get these feathers. It's like a really honorable thing. I feel like I should go find you some like big feathers you can wear.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You toughed it out and didn't cry. That a girl.
I definitely cried when my patella like exploded off my knee. That made me cry.
Yeah, that was probably the first thing you were thinking about, I'd imagine.
CrossFit Shireen.
That was definitely pre-CrossFit Shireen.
That was out of shape Shireen playing kickball
It was
in an
kickball.
unadvised manner.
It was kickball.
You
do it?
You sublux your kneecap like 3 times, is that right?
Yeah. So subluxation
Hence
is
the scars on your knee.
yeah, subluxation is dislocation, but it comes back without it having to be manually put back in.
Oh, yours didn't come back.
It did come back, so
okay.
it did sublux. But yeah, that was. I mean, I grew up playing soccer. 18 years of soccer. Luckily, never had an ACL tear, which most girls, and I researched this in college. A lot of female athletes have ACL tears because of that whole plant and twist, and then not having the hamstring to counteract the quad and that tibial rotation, and all that stress basically goes to your ACL and it goes pop. And
Isn't it Q angle or something?
I was about to say, isn't
Mechanics of
Q-angle
hip and knee together.
responsible for some of that?
It's a part of it for sure. What you're saying is true, but there's definitely a little more to that story. Like you mentioned your hamstrings. Your hamstring kind of holds your tibia back, which is the same function that you have with your ACL. So if you don't have very strong hamstrings, then you're more likely to get your tibia to kind of slide forward. But the most common way people tear their ACL is when you kind of rotate your foot out to the side, and then your knee dives in and it twists your knee. So yeah, if you don't have strong kind of the outer part of your hamstring or strong glutes in this kind of glute medius area where you can pull your knee out, like we always say, push your knees out when you're squatting and whatnot. If you don't have those hip muscles to keep your knees from diving in, then you're more likely to twist and tear your knee. Girls tend to be a little more quad dominant, and they don't have that hip strength in a lot of cases, and so they get more of that valgus knee, and they're much more likely to get ACL tears. Depending on
do that live. It's not fun.
Yeah, depending on the research, it's between 2 and maybe 7 or even 9 times is frequent for females, especially in adolescent, like high school type sports.
Oh yeah.
Especially field sports.
Well, I can tell you, I don't think I ever set foot in our weight room when I was in high school playing sports. Like, girls just did not go into the weight room. We weren't trained to do any of that. So we did sprints, and we ran up hills, and we played with soccer balls and ran around the track, and that was pretty much it. And make that super quad dominant, we didn't have anything else to do. So.
Sure. Especially being a distance runner.
Yeah.
Don't lift weights to get big and bulky, then look like a dyke. Worst fear of a high school female.
It is. I coached.
It'll be me sitting over in the corner in the weird person cafeteria table. These fucking losers.
Well, when I first moved to Memphis, I volunteered and helped with a high school lacrosse team because I played club in college.
I remember that.
I really loved it. And I was like, I'm going to transfer this love of lacrosse to this new high school team. And geez, the last place I need to be is coaching high school girls. I had no patience for it. And I made them do things like push-ups and, just body weight squats and stuff like that as warm-ups. And I would get, can't we do sit-ups? And we got spring break coming up and we want to work on our abs. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. This is not for me at all.
Did you have the moment of clarity where you realized this was your annoying ass like 10 years prior?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I remember running cross country, and we had this coach for the last 2 years. We were in my junior and senior year, and she was probably my age when I was coaching lacrosse. She comes in like, all these hopes and dreams for us, like has this great program and everything. And we're used to this old guy that used to be our coach, where he would run around the track and we'd go run on an adventure. Like we wouldn't even do the workout he gave us. And
how mean of you.
oh my God, high school girls are awful. Like, we just don't care.
They made a movie about how mean you are.
This is very true. I was a nice girl though. Like, I was pretty
You
quiet and
weren't.
shy. Yes. Oh, if you only knew. But anyways, like, this girl comes, like, she comes to coach us, and we absolutely, like, we go our normal way, and she gets mad. Like, we show up late to practice or anything like that, makes us do like wall sits, minute on, 30 seconds off,
Yeah.
so many rounds. And it's just like, we're not used to this kind of punishment, and we tortured her probably.
I'm having that moment right now with every time I come to this gym and I hear dubstep, I realize that I'm old because now I go, what in the shit is this music these kids are listening to? It's just a guy hitting a VVVV button over and over again. God damn it.
I've heard it compared to an AOL modem.
AOL modem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dial-up-
it's,
the dial-up
it's
modem.
terrible. God bless this Skrillex guy for getting rich off some shit, but man, whatever.
So now that you've hurt your hamstring running sprints, do you now know what you should be looking for? Like, oh, I'm starting to feel this. Maybe I should stop sprinting next time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a difference between, like, wussing out and actually reading your injuries or what your potential injuries could be. Like, that's something I'm still learning. Where are my barriers? Like, when should I actually stop, and when am I just kind of, I don't really feel like doing this because it hurt that one time. So.
And unfortunately, that takes time. That's where the art of training is, finding, like, a lot of people, it gets to a point if you're so experienced where you can go, okay, I come in, I lift the barbell, and I know for me, I'm going to have to do things differently during this session. The next time I'm going to sort of auto-regulate and figure out what I need to do from there on. But, of course, when you're new to anything, you think, well, if I don't push as hard as possible, I'm going to get weak or slow, out of shape or whatever. So let's keep pushing hard. And then there's a fear that if I take a break and I hold back a bit, then I'm not going to get anything out of this. And, yeah, that's where all the art is.
Well, there's also the exact opposite of that, which is I'm new and I'm not good at stuff, so I shouldn't try that hard because I don't want to look like a failure. Like, I would want, I would scale things, you could scale things down so much that it's not really a workout, but you could finish it. So there's the opposite of that as well.
I had a similar experience today where I'm still trying to find that same line about when to quit and when to kind of push through, and it's not that big of a deal. For me in MMA, I've had like a string of injuries, and I'm trying to stay as injury-free as possible for an upcoming fight. And today, I was in the middle of choking somebody. I was squeezing a choke down, and I went, my shoulder hurts, sorry. And I let him go and rolled onto my back and was just like, I'm gonna go home. And I just left, and the guy was like, "You all right?" Like, this never happened before.
Dude, that takes.
Oh, you left him hanging.
I can't really like even communicate how
you-
much
did you
discipline
guys
that
make-
takes.
Were you making eye
But
contact?
that was not a practice.
But dude, that takes so much
Didn't finish,
discipline.
so-
It takes years to get to that point because almost everybody will just finish the choke and then let at least the onset of the injury happen. And then at that point, you've already gone down the road. You're gonna need recovery time.
Yeah,
But
the
definitely 2 years ago, I would have finished the choke and then been like,
ego would have
tested
taken
it out-
over.
tested it out afterwards.
Ego
but
would have been like, "You cannot lose."
It's kind of like when I
Next thing
see.
you know, you're in pain.
I've
It's
choked
like when I
enough people where I
see.
don't care anymore.
I see really high level. Like I watched a recent video of that Klokov guy snatching in Russia. He works up and does like a 200 kilo snatch or something, weighing like 220, whatever he weighs, freaking nature. But you watch most some of those guys lift. I remember seeing some of them pulling a snatch, catching it, and then dropping it, not wanting to stand up. It's like knowing, okay, I've got the lift, I could stand up, but at this point I'm so advanced. Now, do I need to stand up? I'll just drop it, and I'll worry about catching a few and moving on. I don't need the extra wear and tear. That's a kind of a very savvy. A lot of people go, "Why don't you finish the reps, man? No pain, no gain, or whatever." Not realizing how much wisdom goes into that. Not realizing how long you have to train to get there, to where that's okay to do.
Isn't he always training to like Britney Spears in the background too?
Or, like, weird Russian-
some
No, it's like Russian
ridiculous
techno.
pop music.
Well, it's weird. That's one of the good things about Europe and Asia, I guess, is that there's pretty awesome like public transportation and these sorts of things. But the music is, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's good for them, but my American ear is just like, what in the shit?
There's
They
a
have this
reason all the
weird
good artists
Russian
moved to
language
America.
techno music that's crazy. Maybe it's the big joke. But I've noticed that Glenn Penley's group is playing weird techno music now too. I guess maybe there's something I don't know about it. Maybe we should try it.
We
Maybe you're
do,
slap-
and you complain about it.
You're not playing weird techno music. You're playing shit dubstep music.
Dude, it is not dubstep. I
That
promise
is
you
fucking dubstep.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't even know what dubstep
Who
music
among
is.
us is going to say that this gym doesn't play lots of fucking dubstep?
It's been played like one time.
Not, I think we're crossing.
So are you defending yourself by saying, no, bro, the other time we're playing Rihanna? Is that what you're going to go down that road? That's your defense?
All right, that doesn't happen in faction, okay?
That's like saying I didn't kill the guy. I just strangled him until he stopped breathing. I figured he'd awake. Not a good defense.
It's funny with the music. I can walk through the gym and totally not even realize that music is playing, and then the second that I decide I think I'm gonna train right now, I go, "The fuck is this?
I had that
Why is
moment
this playing?" Like right when I want
That's
to
true.
start training, I'm like, "This is bullshit. I'm not lifting to this." And I
had that moment today.
before that, I can't even hear it.
It's true.
I realized, like, I got a decent lift here. I don't feel good. I can't get to where I need to get listening to Rihanna. Nothing against her. She's got a little sexy dance R&B thing, but it's not what you want when you're trying to lift huge weights, bruh. This doesn't work.
I have to say, during the faction games last year, the one workout where it was the handstand push-ups buy-in, and then it was that stupid ball throw, the chest to bar pull-ups, and the double unders.
Oh, that was awesome.
Well, Derek was DJing, and he put all the music that I requested during that WOD, and I think I finished like 3rd or 4th in that WOD. It was
Oh,
my
for real?
highest finish, and I was so excited. I was
All
like,
about the music.
It's because he played my music. 'Cause I could dance a little bit to it. You know?
What was it?
Oh, I have a high preference for like Alkaline Trio and
Yeah,
Rise
good
Against
stuff.
and Less Than Jake and stuff like that. It's what
See,
I've
the
listened
opposite
for, like,
is
10
opposite
years.
is also bad when the guy started playing all like everybody wants all the death metal all the time.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like in high school, I loved that shit. And in college too, like hate breed and all that shit. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's do whatever we're gonna do. Yeah, well, bruh.
I did used to
headbutt the
warn-
bar and shit. And now I'm like, man, just play like a little Queens of Stone Age or a little light rock. Let me get in the zone. The best thing is actually a really good ballad. I agree with Henry Rollins on that. A good stirring ballad or nice,
Jazz?
Oh, let me think. Let me put,
Angel opens her eyes.
Some of them
not
live.
that. No, not live.
I prefer the Pixies personally. I like to listen to Pixies when I lift.
But I mean, you're like every rock tune's got an album or a track that's a little bit slower and a little, played down a little bit. And that could be the most effective thing.
We really have come down a lot from the shit we used to listen to when we first
Yeah.
opened the gym. When we first opened the gym, I wanted to play fucking Mudvayne and Slipknot every day, all day, and that was it.
We know. Everyone was like,
Shine
why
down.
is
like-
Doug working the radio?
It's come down so much since then.
And we were equally guilty in the powerlifting area in the back playing a bunch of shit.
Yeah. There was like 2 different music that would go on at the same time.
You get
I
numb
didn't
to
know
it
was
after a
gonna-
while. You don't
yeah.
even notice it anymore. It's just screaming assholes.
I did used to warm up for like track meets and cross country meets with Slipknot and System of a Down.
But
I can
eventually,
see a cross country runner getting warmed up with Slipknot, just like
Yeah.
eventually,
Right?
but eventually
Most
you
random
learn that the
thing.
more you try to motivate yourself and you get too hyped up, you're gonna just shit the bed when you try to perform.
It's called over arousal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Learn that
I'm
in sports,
over-aroused,
sports
coach.
psychology.
Right when you go in the locker room, rub one out, get yourself under aroused. Okay, now I can do it. Now I can run.
That's exactly what goes through my mind. Maybe that's why I always used to pee while I ran. Like most cross country,
What?
During?
a lot of cross country runners pee themselves while they run.
I think that's not just the girls.
It's just the girls. Okay, maybe it's just the girls.
Not that
My-
I don't know anything about
my
cross country
whole
runners,
team
so I
did.
don't know.
I'd have to pee pretty bad to be able to pee while I was running.
The thing is, you do it once and you do it for forever.
Oh yeah?
You want to talk about that, Shereen?
Pee while
Well-
double unders.
I've seen girls pee on a platform pulling deadlifts and snatches and stuff.
Oh yeah. I remember that happened like 2 years ago at
They're
that
proud of me.
SPF
The
meet.
girl
The deadlift?
pulls a
Dude,
max effort, third attempt, sumo deadlift, and just like
I saw
stream right in my
I
face.
saw
So terrible.
at the strongman meet I was at back in November. This chick picked up a stone and covered the stone. It was like a flood. I was like, where did that come from? Like, did her water break? Like,
Oh man,
it's like they had to they couldn't even use the stone for like the next 3 heats because they were trying
dude,
to
I
get
quit. I ain't
the
touching
water
that shit.
off. And then it was like it wasn't sticky anymore. It was just slick. and the next girl that had to use it was like,
the stone smells like asparagus, coach.
the next girl that had to use that stone was not happy.
I bet.
She was like,
Sounds like a bad deal, man.
She can't use.
They only had so many stones, so they had to use it
Wow.
to finish the meet.
I remember that girl that peed. She pulled it like 3 inches off and then just kind of stalled and just sat there like held it and peed. And the front row could see it, but everyone that was behind the front row couldn't really see it. So nobody really knew what was going on. The funny part though was the guy who was standing right behind her, kind of like the catcher, like the guy who was like supposed to catch you if you pass out, basically.
Yeah.
She walked away, and he was just standing there. He was like, he was just looking around, totally confused. And finally, someone goes, "Dude, just wipe it up." And he goes, "Okay." He was like fucking
mortified,
like, white with shock, like he couldn't believe someone peed on the platform.
I saw this gangster ass female weightlifter a couple Olympics ago. She, went. I guess she kind of clarked the bar, but she pissed all over the platform trying to do a clean and jerk. Clark's when you pull it to your knee and you go, "Fuck, I can't do this." You just drop it, and she just sort of like does this. She kicks it and walks away, like you would kick some spit on the mound of a pitcher's mound or something. She just kicked it and walked away.
Do you guys not do this at all? Have you never heard of a guy?
No, it's a girl thing.
Man.
It's the way we're built and y'all are built. I learned about it once in class.
Biology. I've seen
our lower center of gravity has something to do with
the craziest
our
the craziest thing I ever saw was this powerlifter. He went for like a 1,000-pound squat. This is if you search, dear audience, go to YouTube, search powerlifter or weightlift. They may call it weightlifting, squat, puke, or throw up. There's this guy who goes for like a 1,000-pound squat and gets like halfway up and like bails on the bar and just like explodes, projectile vomiting all over. I don't know if he threw up on the head judge, but he threw up this like exorcist style all over the.
It had to have gotten on the judge. I think he still had the bar on his shoulders.
Yeah, just like like the Exorcist. The problem is some more extreme powerlifting gear squeezes you like a sausage casing and makes your blood pressure spike and sort of shoves everything up your body. He's grinding up and it's just like squeezing a sausage. All the meat comes out the end. You just fucking lost it.
Oh my God.
An epic video on YouTube. Tag that shit as a fail if I've ever seen one. How do you compete in the meet? The most embarrassing thing I ever did, warming up for the 2003 National Championships in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I was in the warm-up room. My last warm-up temp was 700 pounds. And I picked the weight up. I lifted okay. I go to put in a rack, but the bar had settled into my back like 2 inches. I've always had trouble keeping it high. So it settles like 2 inches. In my training, I would just lean forward and just kind of toss the bar into the rack. A very bad habit. If you keep your feet in position, you just sort of lunge forward and rack the bar. I did that here, but only the bar went right under the hooks of the monolift. And I just fucking, knee wraps in a suit tie, I just fucking launched the bar over my head into the monolift.
Oh my God.
I knocked the whole fucking monolift over, and with 700 pounds just like pushes it. And all these spotters who nearly got their heads taken off are looking around going, Jesus Christ. And everybody from the front area, all the spectators and all the judges and lifters fucking run back and go, what happened? I'm just laying on the ground flopping around like a freshly caught fish, my knee wraps and belt tight and everything going, Jesus Christ. And no surprise, I missed my first 2 lifts badly and then barely made a third attempt to stay in the thing. That was terribly embarrassing. I still have nightmares of that shit. But God, that was embarrassing, man.
That's right up there with like your dreams about like walking around high school naked or something.
Yeah, imagine just throwing 700 pounds into a metal rack, the kind of racket and danger that creates. Like if you just dump 135 with bumpers that makes a racket, imagine 700 pounds of big clanging metal weights. It's dangerous shit. Anyhow.
We had a girl the other day fall forward right in the middle of a squat and bang her head.
She actually tore some muscles.
Yeah.
From her neck to
over.
her up to her skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wasn't there to see it. Like, what really happened?
He has pictures of the whole thing.
Oh,
I bet
really?
she would really appreciate that if you
Yeah.
put it up there.
Well,
Please
Can we
don't
edit
do
those
that.
in right now?
She went
Please
from
don't do that.
she was I watched her do it. She went from
I can't feel good.
moving up.
You were spotting her, weren't you?
I didn't want to say that, but I was
You're like, no, I can't.
I was
don't-
spotting her,
not
and I've got my
funny.
hands underneath her. I mean, James got the pictures. I've got my hands underneath her. I'm like following her up, and she goes from going straight up to just like diving forward. There was like no sign of her hitting failure or anything. She just I guess she was just too far forward, and I couldn't see it because I was behind her. And she just dumps it forward. I begin to catch her, but she had given up. Like, she was done.
You got to stay with the bar,
And
ladies and gentlemen.
She basically
What was she
gave
squatting,
up.
like 250 maybe.
255,
Yeah, it was about
I think.
255.
Oh.
Yeah, she just, and I started to catch her, which, you know, I may have pushed her more into the bar, but I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, and she just,
It sounds like it.
I don't know if she, like, I don't think she gave up. I think something just didn't fire right somewhere because she's not inexperienced.
No, she's a great squatter actually.
Yeah, so, I mean, she squatted over
Have you-
275 before,
have you
and
talked
that's
to
why
her
I was wondering
since?
why 255. Yeah, I talked to her today. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's just going to have to take it easy for a
She's
while.
suing you.
But
She asked me what
negligence?
she should change when she left. I was like, nothing. Don't change anything. I've seen you squat a million times. You always squat fantastic. Don't worry about it. Occasionally I'm walking around and I just fucking trip. And I don't change how I walk. I walk all the time. Usually I'm fine, and sometimes you just screw up. She squats great all the time. I said, you know, she was like, should I start wearing a belt? Should I like start like change my, should I widen my feet? I was like, no,
I think
everything's fine. Just forget about it and go back and just keep training.
I think that's funny with some people. They'll lift or they'll do something or they feel like they're doing it wrong. They're like, what do I need to fix? I'm like, just do some more reps. Just practice. And too often they want you to like give them a correction for every repetition. This happens a lot with weightlifters. I'm like, go do 10 and then I'll come back and look at you.
Yeah.
I don't need to see every single lift.
I feel like as almost all weightlifting coaches get more experience, they coach less and less.
Yeah.
It's really
Jump
easy
and pull the bar.
It's easy to overcoach when you're first getting started. Like you want to tell everyone all the cool stuff you know, and it just fucking confuses them.
That's true.
Well, that's sort of similar to the programming.
agree
At
with
first,
that.
you try to do.
Oh yeah, I used to overcoach all the time.
And I'm not saying specifically you guys would overcoach.
Now
but
I
if
try
you-
to stay in the office and leave you guys alone so you can practice.
I've been
have noticed that.
overcoached before. I remember I was being overcoached by like 3 people at the same time, and one day I was like, "Don't talk to me today." Doug was there. I was like,
I was one of the guys yelling at you.
yeah, I was like,
See you, Paul.
don't tell, just you guys just leave me alone. Because what would happen is like one guy would come give me advice, like every 4 lifts, but so were the other 2 or 3 guys. So I was getting like advice every single time, and it was different advice from every guy, and I was like, this is terrible. Because I was the newest guy to weightlifting at the time in the room, and I was just
I think the only way,
Ugh.
like once you get the essential fundamentals of lifting, you get beyond like, okay, do this in this certain sequence. Once you get the basics, then it becomes like, then you now learn how to catch a big snatch or jerk a big weight or something. When you miss, the only solution is to try again to make it and stop before you get too incredibly tired. But if you jerk it and miss, you try again, and then maybe try it 10 more times, and then eventually you can go, oh, that's the way it should feel to get it in position over my head or to not dip too much. No one can explain to you how something should feel.
right.
It's an incredible skill to learn how to jump under a big load and catch it and then staying up with it. I mean, it's not necessarily something that can be taught. The wise coach sort of guides you to figuring it out.
I think it's interesting too. A
I
lot
was
of
trying to
times,
work in some sort of Karate Kid type wisdom.
Miyagi.
Well, when Miyagi teaches you how to fight by not teaching you how to fight, or did he teach you how to fight when he told you to wax on, wax off? Aha. Therefore, when, wise, cracking, LA, handsome teenager tries to kick you in the face, you fucking just block it. Oh, where'd that come from? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I think, audience, you get the point I was making before that.
I was gonna say, programming wise, for people that have pulled their hamstrings, like, do you think that easing into something like that is going to be name of the game for the future for you? Like, you do most of the programming for the competition team. You think you need if you're gonna do full speed, 100% full speed sprints, starting with 20s, and then going longer and longer with the full speed sprints, more like someone would do leading up to a soccer season?
Yeah, I think I won't say that I made a mistake. No. No.
Never.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of programming is just like, well, how is this going to turn out? And then, like, you see how it turns out the next day. You're like, oh, well,
It's
we
not that I
got
made a
to
mistake.
adjust
it's
from
that
there.
If I could do it again, I wouldn't do this.
What was interesting today is, myself included, I only did 4 of the 8 sprints. And after 4, I felt this pain in my heel, like across, up to my what's that thing called? Yeah,
Achilles
the
tendon?
Achilles tendon.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, I was
Achilles
thinking.
tendon?
I was like, I don't want to tear that, so I'm gonna go inside and do Airdyne sprints. I'm gonna do 4 more sprints, but it's gonna be on the Airdyne, not, running. And then there was you, and then one other person called it early too. And I was like, all right, well, there were some people that ran all 8 sprints and they were perfectly fine, but that's a high rate of like injury or almost injury. And I think that we probably should ease it a little bit longer, a little bit easier, as far as like maybe I should have programmed just 4 rounds of the sprints instead of 8. And then the other thing too was I probably should have put in the blog when I posted for programming, like, hey, you guys might want to run like 5 at 75% before you because you just got done snatching and then like, okay, go run 100%. It's like maybe you should run like 5 at 75%, and then go 100%.
Would you run your 40s in before you pull the trigger? What was your time?
I was running 4.5s.
That's pretty good. Now, what time did you do on your Airdyne? Did you try to mimic that, or did you go long?
I ran no. The Airdyne was like 10-second sprints. Because by the time you get going on the Airdyne, you're not hitting full speed until you're almost there. I mean, same with the 40 though, but
4.540 is really good. I mean, like a 4.
No, I wasn't running 4.5s.
I don't know, because a 4.3 would be like,
I'm trying to remember.
You are killing the NFL Combine if you're like a linebacker.
I wasn't running 4.5s.
You should just said you run a 4.5. That sounds better.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm super fast.
If you look at the real numbers from combine scores for like 4.2s and 4.3s, like sometimes they go like between 2 and 3 years between having like 4.3s and 4.2s.
Yeah, it's really
rare. Even 4.4s, it's like they had like 4 guys one year, like 5 guys the next year. Like once you're electronically timed, all that I run a 4.4 stuff goes away.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like we were also going off a stopwatch. We had a guy going 3, 2, 1, go, and then
the guy who plays. Sorry. Dude.
So I mean, if you're going off a hand stopwatch, I mean that could be a huge difference.
I think Dentari. I think his name is Dentari Poe, the defensive tackle from the Tigers. Got drafted like 16th by the Chiefs, maybe something like that. That's pretty good. I mean, as far as physical qualities, he's a freak. He's like 6'6", 350. 340, big kid, and he ran like a 4.85 or 4.8, which is dude. And he benches at least 450.
He did 220 for a guy that big.
He did 225 for like 41 reps or something. This is not human.
That is not. That's incredible.
CTP, our producer's waving his hands and shit. What do you want to say, CTP?
I don't want to say shit.
All right, man. Stand your ass there, man.
Welcome back to Technique Wad. Today I want to talk about rear foot elevated split squats. It's not necessarily a movement that you find at a lot of CrossFit gyms, and definitely not a movement that you would probably ever find in a CrossFit Metcon, but it is a great strength movement. It's a great movement for, especially for people who have shorter torsos and longer legs, people that tend to, when they're squatting and deadlifting, have their legs fail before they round their back. People that have longer torsos, a lot of times, if you watch powerlifting, for example, longer torsoed people tend to fail by folding their thoracic spine, while people that have shorter torsos and longer limbs tend to fail here and they just can't stand up. Their back's not rounding over, they're not losing their position, they just can't stand up. Their legs just can't put out anymore. That shorter torso makes it easier to keep your back straight, and so the stress is put on the legs a little bit more. In this case, for a rear foot elevated split squat, it makes it easier to train your legs. You put the focus really on them because you're in an upright back position, and all that stress is being put onto my quad and my backside glute. And if you're a person who's ever done a lot of rear foot elevated split squats, you know that it's a very effective way to get a lot of, especially glute soreness. If you have a lot of trouble making your glutes sore, well, this would be the way to do it. Keep you sore for 4 or 5 days in a lot of cases, especially if you're new to it. Last time we talked about regular split squats and lunges. We talked about starting at the bottom with a vertical front shin and a vertical back thigh, squeezing this glute to get a neutral pelvis and on nice and tall, good posture. The same is going to apply for the rear foot elevated split squat, where I'm going to start again at the bottom. I like to grab onto kettlebells, put my foot into position. My entire foot is on the bench. I'm not hanging off like this. A lot of people do that, and then as a result, they don't have much stability back there. So
they kind of put all their weight on their front leg and they squat down like this so they don't have any pressure on their back leg. So you want the edge of the bench to be right where your foot bends. I like to position myself at the bottom with that vertical shin, squeezing my butt, and then I know that I'm in a good position and I don't have to go searching for the bench and then hop my leg around hoping that I'm in a good spot. If you start at the bottom, you'll know that you're in a good position right from the start. My back should be at the same angle as my lower leg. I shouldn't try to be too vertical where I'm hyperextending, and I shouldn't be bending forward like this. I shouldn't be bending like that, or out here. I'm kind of sitting back into the movement. So as I go down, my shin stays relatively vertical until I'm here, and pressing my shin back vertical as I go to the top. So just like the regular split squat, I like to first load myself on that inside hand and then go from there. Same thing with the rear foot elevated split squat when you're first learning. I like to have people just load their inside hand and press out and then right back down to the bottom, just like that. If you're someone who is brand new to the movement and you're having a lot of trouble staying stable at the bottom, we have had people in the past put a stick right here, and that just kind of helps them out, just so they can kind of get the feel for it before they try to do it with body weight where they're a little more unstable, and especially before they try to load themselves. So that's a great option if you're having trouble with the bounce right at first. The bench is good, but it's a flat surface, and when I'm at the top with a lot of weight, a lot of times I feel like I'm getting a lot of pressure on my ankle because kind of the top of my foot is coming off of the bench, and it's just my toes, and it's making me point my toe. Sometimes, with a lot of pressure. So a while back I had a kind of a foot toe problem from kicking something real hard, and I started using this, which lets me bend my foot around it, and it feels a lot more comfortable, and I've just kind of stuck with it. So same position, but I can kind of hang on this little pad here, and it's a lot more comfortable on my foot. Also, once I got into split squats a little bit more, I found that loading myself with kettlebells became a little more of an issue, and I didn't like to have 70 or 90 pound kettlebells in each hand, kind of hopping around all off balance. What I've done after that was I found a safety bar, and I tried that, which is nice because the safety bar sits on my back and it won't fall off, and then I can grab the uprights and hold myself in position. So the first thing I do is I kind of find out roughly where my foot's going to be. I take note, and then a lot of times I'll keep my foot there. If it's not too heavy, I'll just leave my foot right where it was. I'll grab the uprights, I'll find the pad behind me, and then I'll hold on for my first rep just to kind of get myself into position, and then I can go from there. So I'm here, and then if I really need to, if I really can't get up and have a spotter, I can just kind of pull myself up. Likewise, if I get off balance, a lot of times I'll have my hands available. If I get wobbly, I can just kind of touch the inside, and it'll keep me from falling over. So it's just a way to add a little bit of stability to the movement. That way you don't have to, if you have 200 pounds on the bar, you don't have to hop around on one leg while you're halfway down in the middle of a squat. So ideally you wouldn't touch the walls at all. You'd be able to do it all on your own, but it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a backup plan as it's kind of a hard movement to spot if you only have one person. If you have two people, obviously they can spot the sides just like any other squatting movement. So great way, if you've never tried it, to gain some strength in your legs, and especially to get some good stress on your glutes and develop a good amount of soreness. If you're trying to put on muscle mass, it's an especially good way to really stress your legs and kind of take your back out of the equation, so you can really get as much development out of your thighs and out of your glutes as absolutely possible. So hope you enjoy it. Go ahead and try it out. I'll see you tomorrow.
Wait. Should we make one more point, one more topic, just quickly? Some sort of stream
I
of
got a question for
consciousness.
Shireen.
Look at her and ask her.
Or do you have a question?
No,
Okay. Wondering.
I'm here to distract with pithy, irrelevant commentary after you ask the question.
Okay.
That's my job on the show.
You coach some of our fundamentals here and there because you just enjoy doing it. You like introducing people to CrossFit. How do you find? We were talking about programming for competitors and stuff like that, and we definitely have a very conservative fundamentals program. How do you find a lot of new people scale some of the movements, and how do you scale the movements for a lot of people who, I mean, I know people come in that like they can't even squat. You know, like what are some of the things that any advice you would give people coming in and not maybe being too aggressive about it or feeling too bad about it?
I have to say that, I mean, everybody starts somewhere, right? So, I mean, I started somewhere. I started with the fundamentals program myself. Came in probably not really knowing how to squat. So, to give advice to somebody coming in, I mean, pay attention to the coaches because they're going to want to help you. Don't assume that you know what you're doing. I think that's the biggest thing is like, I find the deadlift to be one of the hardest things to teach or to coach, especially in a fundamentals class, because you have somebody who comes in who thinks they know how to deadlift or has deadlift before, and they have something completely different in mind. And so allow somebody to correct you if they can, and allow somebody to give you advice if they can. Don't assume that you know more just because you may have done it before. And then for people who are brand spanking new, have never done anything before, I don't know. It's tricky. Like I want people to try everything. Make sure that you try it and don't be afraid of it.
I was like, don't freak out,
Yeah.
beginner. Patience. Be
Yeah.
patient, be focused. Baby steps, one foot for another.
Well, everybody has their goats, like you said. I mean, for a long time, I had the biggest fear of being upside down. Like, could not do it. I, to this day, have never done a cartwheel before. Like, just never done it. It's bizarre.
I know we're programming next week.
I know.
You're still afraid of it, or you just haven't tried it, or what?
I haven't tried it out of, like, mild embarrassment that I'm going to fail in front of a lot of people.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know. It's still, like...
When your
it's still
hamstring heals up, we can work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to learn how to do it.
Okay.
But for a long time, like, getting into the handstand position was probably the most, like, god-awful thing in the entire world for me. And you're going up against a wall. Like, you're not even, like, going into a free handstand. I just could not do it for...
You have, like, nightmares where you find yourself in a wad, and you're like, okay, handstands, you freak out, you get in the handstand, all of a sudden you're naked in front of everybody. Oh, no. Not again.
I guess I have a super fear of, like, hurting my neck, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that actually that might add some specificity to Mike's question. So for a handstand specifically, and eventually obviously leading into handstand push-ups, for people out there that either have never done a handstand or haven't done it, in 30 years or what have you, how would you recommend that they start into a progression to eventually do a handstand someday?
That box, your feet on the box, and getting used to just being at some sort of angle upside down is perfect. And then
That's like a incline push-up. Raise
Kind
your feet
of,
up
yeah.
so you start getting your feet above your head.
exactly, just getting used to
that.
having your arms support your body in some way. Like, that's what you really need to get used to, right?
So your feet are on a box and you're trying to push your hips as absolutely high as possible so you can get a relatively
Right.
vertical torso.
Right, and those cast wall walks are pretty good too because they can be frightening.
Right. Which is that something that most CrossFit gyms do? I don't know if they do.
I actually got that from a gymnastics coach. I don't know if they do that anywhere else.
All right, so a cast wall
We're
walk
awesome.
for the audience that doesn't know what a cast wall walk is, basically you start in a push-up position with your feet on the wall, and then you walk your feet up the wall as you kind of push yourself up into a handstand.
Right, and you're facing the
reasonable.
wall, so it's a little bit different from when you see a handstand push-up programmed, where you're facing out from the wall. But it gets you.
When do you face the wall?
Well, maybe we'll edit in a
Caswall.
clip of
Yeah.
a Caswall
Yeah,
walk so they can
yeah.
see what it looks like.
One thing that does bother me about people that do the Caswall walk sometimes, they don't keep their core tight at all, and they're like their back is totally bent, and I'm like,
yeah.
stop it, just stop it.
Well, that's
Hey folks, keep your abs really tight and nice and solid. Don't have that super lordotic curve going on when you're like pushing against the wall. Your legs are creating a load there.
Take your lazy pants off. Be serious.
that's part of like going RX is like once the movement starts to suffer, like you should not go any further. Like you want the movement to be as perfect as possible, even if the weight has to come down. And I think that's another thing with the fundamentals class that I remember the last one that I did, I had some guys that wanted to go heavy on the push press. Like it was heavier than we had programmed. And I was like, all right, guys, I'm just letting you know that if I start to see your movement suffer, I'm going to stop you, make you change out the weight. And I did. I saw their chest come up and their back arch and their stomachs didn't stay tight or anything. And I was like, all right, stop. You're changing out the weight. I'm thankful that they listened to me and did it. But that's
You can always come get me.
Huh? Yeah.
I'll beat them with PVC pipe.
No, they were good. They were good guys. But that's one thing is like when your movement starts to suffer, you need to not go any higher or go RX or anything like that. That's the key thing.
Especially
there.
just starting out. Like just starting out, ideally, the weight would be light enough and the range of motion would be short enough where you can do everything with perfect technique every single time. I've gone a little lax on that over the last couple of years for competitors, from the realization that if you have absolutely 100% perfect technique for every single rep for the whole rest of your life in a competition, it's going to slow you down and you're not going to win anything. Like you have to go a little lax on technique in some cases in a competition just to get it done and get a good time.
But that's
Like
for me. That's more for
Like
competition.
the
But
guys doing the handstand push-ups with like sumo arm position and their head moving an inch off the fucking ground. You see that?
Well, there's nothing,
I'm not
there's
gonna name
nothing wrong
names,
with
but I'm
that.
saying
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like doing a sumo deadlift with wide feet. You're just shortening the range of motion to make it go faster. That's smart. But even for the competitors, you don't want to just have totally, just a total disregard for good technique. You're going to hurt yourself eventually. But if you go a little bit lax and you're not 100% every single time, well, you gotta toe that line a little bit just to get a really fast time. Same thing in the powerlifting world. Like you watch guys that set world record deadlifts. Well, then they're not in 100% fully
oddly
perfect neutral
enough,
spine.
An interesting caveat is that the world record deadlift is a conventional pull. Actually, a raw conventional pull. No sumo. There's a lot of high sumo deadlifts, but it has not equaled a world record yet, which is interesting enough.
Usually guys that benefit from going sumo, where you're kind of essentially squatting the weight a little bit more, tend to be really good squatters and not very good deadlifters. So guys that pull conventional tend to be better deadlifters because they usually have longer arms, shorter torsos, and they just have better
Sumo's
leverage
tough too.
for the
Sumo,
lift.
you got to have like if you watch, I think the best sumo pulls in the world are all the Russians and the IPF who pull effortless, precise, pristine sumo deadlifts with like 200-pound guys pulling fucking 400-kilo deadlifts.
Yeah.
Their posture is pitch perfect. Their arms are perfectly straight. They sink their hips into it beautifully. Knees are perfectly out. And they just sort of just squeeze their hips and the weight rises. I'm in awe of it. But oddly enough,
too.
the world record pulls, all the top ones are basically big monsters pulling conventional, which is sort of odd. You wouldn't think that. You think that sumo is cheating and more efficient, therefore that would be the biggest lifts.
Did someone just break the record not long ago? Was it 1,008?
Well, Benedict pulled in an unofficial, unsanctioned meet. He pulled like 1,015 deadlift and held it for like 15 seconds. Look that up on YouTube.
15 seconds?
Yeah, he held at the top and looked around and talked to the audience and dropped it, which is
How do you not
insane.
pass out?
Holy shit.
He's like 6'3", 385 pounds, and a big Icelandic guy who's just a monster.
Wow.
Look that up on your Googles, folks.
I just want to add too, as far as like doing RX or not too. Like a lot of people will want to try to go heavier, and they end up going way too long. Like turn like a 10-minute workout into like a 30-minute workout. That might be.
And then what are you even doing, folks? What are you even getting?
Might as well just weightlift it.
Is that it? Is that the last topic?
That's it, man. I want to talk about one more, but Chris won't let me. CTP.
To let the audience leave.
And the thing is like I had a good way to work it in and everything. We were talking about technique, and I actually disagree a little bit. Like, I think for the longest time with CrossFit, people were, and I was in this boat, was like, you got to sacrifice technique a little bit. But when I was at regionals, the people who won were pretty picture perfect almost every single rep.
Efficient.
Everyone did look very good this year.
So
This
Stop.
was, as a whole,
That's episode.
especially
That's the next
athletes.
episode. That's the next episode, folks. We'll get into it.
yeah, I really want to
that's
talk
your
about
teaser.
it really bad right now.
That's your teaser.
CTP's not going to let me.
Tune
Oh,
in
look at he
next week.
shrugs. He shrugs.
Tune in next week's episode of Bible Shrugged for this
I'll do it by
conversation.
myself. I'm going to go home, hook my microphone up to my computer.
That should be good.
Ashley's going to be like, what is he talking? Is he talking to himself in the other room?
Actually,
Again.
on that note, like the stuff I'm talking about, like this regional is when they did the push press WOD, and they're here, the bar's not on their shoulders, they're pressing it, coming back to here. That's not a picture perfect push press. You have to do it wrong to go fast. So they can just bounce it and come back and bounce it.
That's true.
That's a bad push press, but you have to do it if you want to go really fast. So it doesn't mean that they're doing it dangerously. It just means you need to modify the technique. You watch those guys. If you look at their heels, a lot of times their heel never even touches the ground. They push press and then the heel goes down. They go back on their toes and then it goes down. That's a bad weightlifting push press. You wouldn't be able to do that with 400 or 500 pounds.
No.
But,
It was
if
the same
it's
with
if
the deadlift.
65 pounds,
But if you
cares?
watch their core to extremity, emanation, it's happening very well. There's a lot of
yeah, it's still
athletic
athletic
movement happening.
for
Yeah.
sure.
There was still
Like-
there's weird deadlifts where they sort of picked it up because you can't pick it up and lean back and lock out and put it down because that takes you twice as long as you just pick it up. Before you lock it out, you just sort of shove your hips forward in the bar and you put it back down.
Sure.
You cut half this time off your deadlift.
Yeah, even when I watch like national caliber weightlifters do a WOD that includes cleans, like it'll be squat cleans, 15 of them in a row with like 115 pounds. That's no big deal to them. They do 3 times that much weight in competition, and they'll cut their second pull off early because they don't have to stand up quite all the way and get a real pull on it. That way they can just kind of go into the weight as fast as possible. They'll stand up and then just drop it back down without actually going to full extension as powerfully as possible every single time. So that's bad for weightlifting, but
Yeah.
it's good for CrossFit because it makes you go faster.
Yeah, and
It's
some
all
things-
safe though.
Some things I'm talking about too is those. In the past, I just saw a lot of rounded backs and stuff like that, and that's just something. Like if somebody was doing that at regionals this year, they were finishing way in the back. The guys who stayed clean the whole time, man, they were killing it.
I mean, I still saw plenty of girls at regionals that had rounded backs on every single deadlift, and it looked bad. I mean, even one of the girls that got like second or third or fourth, who's a really tall, skinny girl?
That's Lindsay Smith.
Yeah, like I
She
mean,
got second.
she was going quick, but it wasn't picture perfect. It didn't look dangerous, but that was just how she chose to pull because that was how she could do it the fastest. And I mean, she did a great job, but it's not 100% picture perfect, and that's. I'm saying that's okay. Like in some cases, if that's all you have at the moment, and that's the fastest way that you can do it in a competition, that's what you need to do. You should go back to your, to training and rethink things and try to fix that little flaw. But if that's all you got at the time, you got to just make it happen.
Yeah.
I would say, like, what I mean is if you're at your gym, your box, and you're doing whatever workout or whatever training it is, you should try to make it as good as possible because that's what's going to be more efficient and not going to it's going to prevent injury. In competition, it's completely different,
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Mike, on that note, you want to wrap it?
Yeah.
Because we keep
I
spiraling
don't know.
out of control.
Yeah,
and
we
adding
need
2
to
minutes
we
to
need to
this.
wrap it up. We'll talk more about little teaser. You got a little bit of a teaser of the next show, and we're also going to talk about movement efficiency versus energy system training, engine training, that kind of thing.
It's my fault. Sometimes I just don't be quiet, and I just keep these shows going forever.
Doug the Chatterbox.
I feel like maybe that's sarcasm.
All right, guys.
we got any plugs?
I'm going to plug your face.
With a butt plug.
Oh, wow. I can't believe we went there. Make sure to check out Fitter TV, FITR.TV. And make sure to click the Technique WOD link and watch Doug teach awesome technique.
Why'd you just steal his plug, dude? Jeez.
Just steal my plug. I'm gonna steal your plug.
All right,
Make
go
sure
for it.
you go to fittertv.com if you haven't already, and put your name and email in the
FitterTV.com? Come on.
fittertv.com. Actually, that floor is a Fitter TV, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
We got it?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
Okay. Habit's taking over. Yeah, go to Fitter TV, fitter.tv.
Thank you, Doug.
And
Way to ruin our
sign
branding.
in as a follower for our newsletter. Just put your name and email. That way you can stay up to date on all of the Fitter TV upcoming events and posts.
What do they get if they put their name in the newsletter?
They do get a very sexy free video of Mike showing you the top 7 weightlifting mistakes that you're making when you snatch that keep you from snatching big weight. I think was the catchy title that you had.
By the way, there's no such thing as big weight. The weight's
big weight.
heavier weights, right? Snatch weights so
Big
big that they're
weight.
fucking 10 feet high.
Did you see that most interesting man in the world post on Facebook today that says,
Oh, yeah.
I don't always squat big weight. Just kidding.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
thought that was great.
Got anything you want to promote?
Nope.
Shreen? No? Chris Moore?
Yeah.
The Chris Moore blog?
thechrismooreblog.com. The best blog in the world written by a guy named Chris Moore. There's a bunch of them, actually. There's like 20 of them. I think I'm pretty much #1 on Google now. Whatever.
Thank
that
God.
means. Yeah, type in Chris Moore blog, and it's me and actually the famous writer Christopher Moore. Kind of sucks. These were like 20 pretty good books.
Maybe you could like write a book, trick a publisher that you're that guy, and next thing you know, you can have a published book.
Sounds unethical. Plus, writing a book's kind of hard to do. You gotta have lots of stuff to say.
Dude, you're already been published. You just write something.
Yeah.
Just put all your
The
blog posts
Memoirs
together, you're
of Christopher Moore, Chapter 1. Oh,
done. You got to call Walter Isaacson to write a book about you.
Yeah, he'll jump right on that, I'm sure.
oh man.
Einstein, Steve Jobs, Chris Moore.
I'm hoping I can get shit going soon before I can get a few chapters in. I've had things happen. Just good stories, I guess. But go there, read some stuff.
All right, I want you guys, make sure you go to the website, go to fitter.tv, and look at ask us a question. There's there's like a survey there. It'll prompt you to ask certain types of questions. You can also put whatever you want there. We really like the feedback. And you can, we've been discussing starting a podcast that's underground. We'll be using fake names. You won't know it's us. But anyways, if you think that's a good idea, post that on there.
We've been discussing means Mike brought it up.
I'll see y'all guys.
Hey, hold on. I want to give a shout out to everybody who's been downloading the shit out of the iTunes and playing on YouTube. And me, Mike, Doug, and Chris are all having a contest to see who gets the most Twitter followers. So follow me, CTP_faction.
I'm not on
I
Twitter.
need to get the most. We'll see, you're already losing.
Yeah.
So follow me. Don't follow those guys. Follow those guys.
Yeah.
All right, now you can
All right.
get off.
Peace out.
All right,
Next
thanks,
week.
guys.
See how I did that? I'm gonna win.
Good job, team.
Told Jay, I'll be home by 8:30.
Yeah, definitely.